Hey, good morning, everybody. Brought our hometown camera out to the Eaton-Angola area, and that's a pretty good piece from Buffalo. But you know something, when it comes to moisture and mold in your home, that knows no distance. It can happen everywhere, and that's why we have come to a location here where Young Waterproofing is doing a project in the basement. We're going to go in and find out what's going on. We're in the basement of a home here in the Eaton-Angola area. I'm with Dick Young from Young's Waterproofing. Dick, what a nice smell down here anyway. Good to see you again, by the way.
Oh, thank you, John. It's nice to see you.
What was the problem with this particular home? You said this home is, what, about 40 years old?
Yeah, this home is about 40 years old, and the particular problem here is it has a considerable mold problem in the basement, and that is basically caused from the house being over-insulated at the time it was built.
So a home can be over-insulated. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, it certainly is. This was insulated in this manner during the 80s when we had the oil shortage, and most homes were built in that period with electric heat. And as a result, due to the cost of the electric heat, it's necessary to insulate the house very thoroughly. Okay. And as a result, it was over-insulated.
All right, tell me a little bit about what this fella's doing over here, making all this noise.
What we're doing right now is we're treating the wall with BioClean. BioClean is a moldicide. It kills not only mold, but any kind of bacteria, dust mites, whatever. And it's all natural. That's the best part of this product. There is no chemicals. There's no bleach. It's safe to use on fabric, on woodwork, on paneling, and it's an amazing product.
Well, if you thought Young's Waterproofing only handled leaking water and moisture problems, we can be happy to know you also cater to mold issues as well. You even have a website dedicated to mold, I guess.
Yes, the website for mold is dickyoungsbioclean.com, and that'll tell you anything you want to know about mold. Now, in this particular case, we're also installing BioClean gel in the cold air return for the furnace. So every time the furnace or the AC comes on, the air blows across the gel, evaporates it off, spreads it through the heat system, and it kills not only mold or dust mites or any kind of bacteria in there, but it makes the air healthier in general. And it's a very simple process to install. And that's in. Just put the filter back in, cover on, and you're done.
I see over here, we still see some evidence of this dark mold down on the bottom. Is there a particular kind of mold that is, or what the hazards are of it being in your home?
Actually, there's over 1 million different kinds of mold. What's called black mold, I can tell you definitely this is not black mold. Black mold is one of the most hazardous molds there is to one's health. But this is black mold is a mixture of green, gold, and black combined. And it has a slimy look to it. The reason that this looks the way it does is we've treated this with the BioClean, and now the next step will be to power wash this off. When it's power washed and dried, then we retreat it with BioClean, and that'll be the end of the mold problem.
Okay, now, I noticed you've started by putting up this white panel in the corner. What will that do? What's the purpose of that?
The purpose of the panel, in fact, the entire basement is going to be finished in that manner. And the purpose of this is it's a 100% moisture barrier that's put up after the wall's been treated with BioClean.
Okay.
And it gives the basement a very neat, clean, professional finish to it.
Yeah, it is going to look nice. Now, Dick, I got to ask you a question. I mean, there are people out there screaming right now. Well, you're putting this up against a wall that had a moisture and mold problem. What's going to keep moisture and mold from forming between that panel and the wall?
Any moisture that may form will go down the back side of the moisture barrier and into the space that's left between the floor and the wall. Okay. And that takes any moisture right down into the drain tiles.
Oh, all right.
There will be no fear of mold forming behind the moisture barrier because it's been treated with BioClean.
Okay.
Now, the advantage of the BioClean, it's not just something that takes mold off the surface. BioClean actually penetrates into the pores of the block or the concrete or the wood.
Good to know.
And it kills the mold at its source. So this is a permanent solution.
All right. This is incredible. I'm just going to ask you for a ballpark figure of what a job like this might cost, because maybe somebody's looking, watching our segment that has a smaller basement. They might have a larger basement, and I just thought maybe a general idea of what a project like this runs.
In this particular case, these folks were pretty fortunate because the basement was not finished. The basement was insulated, and that's a relatively simple process of removing the insulation. If the basement is finished, depending on the degree of the mold problem, often the entire basement has to be stripped. All the paneling, everything that's stored, everything in the basement goes into a dumpster, and then you start from there.
Wow.
And that makes it a very costly proposition.
Okay, I can see that.
Now, in a case like this, this is what you would call probably an intermediate problem. And the cost for a basement like this, it's under 100 lineal feet around the perimeter, is about $4,500. Now, if the homeowner catches the mold problem before it gets too extensive, this is something they can do themselves. It's just a matter of using BioClean. In some cases, you don't even have to power wash the wall. It's a matter of if the homeowner's doing it, he can just spray the wall, leave it set for an hour, and respray it. And that's the end of the problem. Okay. It's a very simple thing to use if the problem hasn't advanced too far.
All right. Well, Dick, that is amazing. We always learn something when we come out on a job with you. At least these people don't have to have their basement dug up. I think the last time we were together, you were digging a trench around the basement. They must have had a serious moisture problem. This was more mold than anything else, right?
Yes, this was a mold condition, and part of the reason why there's no trenching going on, these blocks have already been drained. Okay. Bleeder holes have been drilled into them previously, so they don't have a flooding condition going on in the basement.
That's good. That's good. Dick, thanks for having us out, and we want to let you know how to get in touch with Young Waterproofing if you have any kind of a moisture or mold problem in your house. If you don't know, you want to give Dick and his staff a call so they can come out and tell you right off the top. You can contact them at 893-1939 or go online to youngwaterproofing.com or another website, dickyoungsbioclean.com. Stay there. We'll be right back.
Portions of the AM Buffalo program are sponsored. The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of WKBW-TV or the host.